Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to sit down and talk to you about a very personal journey. It's a story about how I went from being completely exhausted and stressed every single morning to waking up with a sense of peace and purpose. For the longest time, I was the kind of person who absolutely hated mornings. My alarm would ring at 6:30 a.m. and my immediate reaction was always the same: frustration. I would reach out, turn off the alarm, and hit the snooze button. I would tell myself, just 5 more minutes, but we all know that 5 minutes easily turns into 30 minutes. By the time I finally dragged my heavy body out of bed, I was already behind schedule. I felt groggy, like my brain was covered in a thick fog. Before my feet even touched the floor, I would grab my phone. I would scroll through social media, look at pictures of other people living their perfect lives, and then open my work emails. Suddenly, my heart would start beating faster. Anxiety would rush in. My mornings were completely chaotic. I would run to the bathroom, throw on whatever clothes I could find, skip breakfast because there was no time, and rush out the door with a cup of instant coffee. I was simply reacting to the world. I wasn't choosing how to live my day. The day was controlling me. I realized that the way I started my morning was exactly how I was living my life, always rushing, always stressed, and constantly feeling like I was one step behind everyone else. The turning point came on a Tuesday morning. I was so rushed that I spilled my coffee all over my shirt right before a big meeting. I wanted to cry. I looked at myself in the mirror and thought, I cannot keep living like this. I am exhausted, and I am not even awake. I knew something had to change. I couldn't keep living in this cycle of exhaustion. So I decided to take my life back. I started researching morning routines. But I didn't want the crazy routines you see online, where people wake up at 4 a.m., run 10 miles, and take an ice bath. I needed something simple, realistic, and intentional. I needed a routine designed for a normal person trying to find some peace. If you are struggling with your mornings right now, I want you to know that you are not alone. Breaking the cycle of bad habits is incredibly hard, but it is entirely possible. In the next part of this video, I will walk you through the exact philosophy and the specific steps I took to completely transform my mornings. Part 2. The System and the Solution: Nitrogen Monoxide Subtitle, and ultimately, my life. Now, for this next part of the podcast, I have a small challenge for you. There will be no subtitles on the screen. I want you to just listen. Close your eyes if you can, relax, and let your brain naturally absorb the English. Let's talk about how to actually fix your mornings. The biggest mistake I made at the beginning was focusing only on the alarm clock. But the truth is, a productive morning doesn't start in the morning. It starts the night before. I used to suffer from something called revenge bedtime procrastination. After working all day, I felt like the night was my only free time. So I would stay up until 1 a.m. watching videos or scrolling online just to feel like I had some control over my time. But I was stealing energy from my tomorrow. So the first major step one took was creating a digital sunset. 1 hour before I want to sleep, all screens are turned off. No phone, no laptop, no TV. Instead, I read a few pages of a physical book or listened to calming music. This simple shift lowers my heart rate and helps my brain produce melatonin. When you respect your sleep, waking up becomes a natural process, not a painful one. The second step is what happens the moment you open your eyes. I completely banned the phone from my bedroom. I bought a cheap, old-fashioned alarm clock and put it across the room. When it rings, I have to physically get out of bed to turn it off. Once I am standing, the hardest part is over. I don't go back to bed. Instead, I walk straight to the kitchen and pour myself a large glass of water. After sleeping for 8 hours, our bodies are completely dehydrated. That glass of water wakes up my digestive system, clears the brain fog, and makes me feel alive much faster than caffeine ever could. After hydrating, I dedicate just 10 minutes to my physical and mental well-being. I open the curtains to let the natural sunlight in. Light is a powerful signal to your brain that it is time to be awake. Then, I do some light stretching. It doesn't have to be a sweaty workout. I just roll my shoulders, stretch my back, and take a few deep breaths. The final and most important step of my routine is setting my intentions for the day. I sit down with a cup of warm tea, a notebook, and a pen. I do what I call a brain dump. I write down everything I am worried about. Getting it out of my head and onto paper reduces my anxiety significantly. Then, I circle the big 3. I choose only 3 important tasks that I must complete today to feel successful. If you try to do 20 things, you will fail and feel overwhelmed. Focusing on just 3 things gives you clarity and a strong sense of direction. Building a new morning routine is a journey. It does not happen overnight. There will be rainy days when you just want to stay under the blankets, and you will hit the snooze button. And that is perfectly fine. The goal here is not perfection. Start small. Don't try to change your entire life by tomorrow morning. Pick just one thing. Maybe it's drinking water first thing in the morning. Maybe it's leaving your phone in the living room tonight. Whatever it is, take that small step. Take back control of your mornings, and I promise you, step by step, you will take back control of your life. Thank you so much for listening today. I believe in you, and I hope you have a beautiful, intentional morning tomorrow. Well, Part 3, the mindset, the setbacks, and the ripple effect. Welcome to the final, and perhaps the most important part of our conversation today. We've talked about the struggle, and we've laid out the steps. But let's be completely honest with each other. Starting a new routine is exciting. You watch a video like this, you feel incredibly motivated, and you tell yourself, tomorrow, my life changes. And for the first 3 days, it works. You wake up early, you drink your water, you write in your journal. You feel like a completely new person. This is what psychologists call the honeymoon phase of habit building. Everything feels fresh and possible. But then day 4 arrives. It's raining outside. Your bedroom is free, but then day 4 arrives. It's raining outside. Your bedroom is freezing cold. You didn't sleep well the night before because you had a late shift at work or you were worried about a project. The alarm goes off, and suddenly, that motivation you felt 3 days ago is completely gone. Your brain starts negotiating with you. It whispers, just 10 more minutes. You deserve to rest. One day won't ruin anything. This, my friends, is the defining moment. This is the exact moment where your future is decided. What do you do when the motivation fades? Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are temporary. You cannot rely on motivation to change your life. What you need is discipline, And more importantly, you need a shift in your identity. What do you do when the motivation fades? Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are temporary. You cannot rely on motivation to change your life. What you need is discipline, and more importantly, you need a shift in your identity. You see, for years, I told myself, I am just not a morning person. Every time I said that out loud, I reinforced that identity. I was giving myself an excuse to fail. To truly change my mornings, I had to stop acting like a victim of my own schedule. I started telling myself, I am someone who prioritizes my peace. I am someone who keeps the promises I make to myself. When you change how you see yourself, your actions will naturally follow. But let me give you a very realistic piece of advice. When that hard morning comes, and it will come, do not aim for perfection. If waking up and doing a 30-minute routine feels impossible, use the 2-minute rule. Just get out of bed for 2 minutes. Walk to the sink, splash cold water on your face. If you want to go back to bed after those 2 minutes, you can. But 90% of the time, once you are up and moving, you will choose to stay up. It is not about doing the routine perfectly. It is about showing up for yourself, even on the bad days. And why does all of this matter so much? Why are we spending so much time talking about how we spend the first hour of our day? Because of the ripple effect. When you win the morning, you win the day. Think about it. When you wake up calmly, hydrate your body, and set your intentions, you step out of your front door with a completely different energy. You are no longer rushing. When a problem happens at work, you don't react with panic, you respond with clarity. When you interact with your family, your friends, or your colleagues, you are more patient, more present, and more grounded. That 1 hour of peace in the morning creates a protective shield around your mind for the rest of the day. You stop being a passenger in your own life, and you finally become the driver. So, as we wrap up today's episode, I want to leave you with one final thought. Your life is made up of years, your years are made up of months, and your months are made up of days. How you spend your morning is how you spend your day, and how you spend your day is, ultimately, how you live your life. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait for January 1st or next Monday. The perfect time is tomorrow morning. Set that alarm, put your phone in another room, and prepare to meet the best version of yourself. Thank you so deeply for sharing your time with me today. If you found this helpful, take a deep breath, write down your big 3 for tomorrow, and I will see you in the next episode.